stuff fighters. Welcome to Mad Science Films. I'm Jimmy P, filmmaker and sexual astronaut. And as ever, I'm joined by my budget co-host.
On a budget, James Morrissey, one half of the Mad Science Films team. So, guys, if you like this video, then please hit the like button. If you've been enjoying the Mad Science content and want to subscribe to our channel, follow us on Facebook. Any comments or suggestions, leave those in the comment section down below. Let's crack up with the show.
Yeah! Also, guys, please check out our fourth feature film for free over on YouTube. Just search for Little Monster or click on the link in the show notes below. This week, we're campaigning for a forgotten masterpiece of genre cinema to be given the beautiful Blu Ray treatment. Now, we did have a viewer recommendation, and you know how much we love those. So we both watched it, we both made notes, but then, stupidly, only after we'd done all that, did I actually just double check to see whether it had a Blu-ray release, and it had. So, sorry, guys. But I would definitely recommend checking out Grandmother's House from Peter Rader. It's out on Blu-ray from 88 Films. It's also currently on Prime Video in the UK. So I would say it's half a great movie. Absolutely love the first half, but it loses its way a little bit in the second half. But thank you to Jason Keith Platt for the recommendation anyway. It was great. It was not a film I'd seen before. Jim, was that first time?
First time, yeah, first time watching me, yeah.
So mixed bag, but always fun to watch a new horror that I haven't checked out, and I would definitely recommend it as one to check out. So anyway, all that being said, now it's my choice again.
The power.
Yes, I'm bathing in it. So yeah, sorry, Jason. This week I have picked 1986's Hawk Jones from Richard Lowry. Okay, let's go for the synopsis. One cop is fighting against a city full of criminals. Now reluctantly working with a new partner, he vows to get rid of a city of crime run by crime syndicate and boss Antonio Coppola. There we go.
Nice. Good synopsis.
So Jim, Hawk Jones.
Yeah,
Don't watch for you.
First ever time watching this film. I liked it. It's adorable. It's got some really good moments in this. I found myself just like grinning the whole way through. It seems to have a really good script too. It's basically, I mean, it's probably gonna be in the recommendations, but like Bugsy Malone meets 80s cop action. I think that's a nice blend, and they've done this quite well. Thought some of the kids were really good actors in this as well, particularly the lead Hawk and his sidekick McAllister. They did a really good job, and I also like the kind of side characters. Like there's a few little characters along the way. Like I love the cast with the couple. You know what I mean? There was I love that TV ad for the soap. You know. There's some really good nuggets there of comedy. And there was also some good tense moments too. I mean, you had shootouts in this film, you had car chases, you had fighting. You know what I mean? There was no, even though it was an all kids cast, they kind of, you know, they didn't shy away from kind of doing those typical 80s high octane action, but in a very child friendly kind of way. But so enjoyed that. And I really appreciate for people who have made films like we have, just how much work that film must have been in terms of keeping attention spans in check. You know, that must have been just, I mean, the outtakes are funny. I guess that gives like a little insight to the set and how things played out in terms of directing these kids. But just to keep their attention, I mean, it's better with adults and crew, isn't it, on set, and you've had a long day shooting and trying to keep people's morale and momentum and enthusiasm and all that going. But to have all these children, you know, acting, and you're reliant on all of them to do a good job. I mean, I would love to see a BTS documentary. It would be absolutely fantastic.
Well, there is one out there. So
really,
I wouldn't say documentary, but it is basically an hour and 20 minutes of BTS proper 80s home video footage.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, let's just say the director, all of the crew worked very hard to kind of herd those kids.
Because the final product is really good. So
Yeah.
they must have done a really well. They have done a really good job. So I love to find out their kind of techniques, their approach. You know what I mean? Their system of working, because you can't obviously have these kids on set for too long.
Mm.
But just from that point of view as well, that was very intriguing. My only But the only issue I have with it is it's a bit too long, though, for me. I thought it was a bit too long. It kind of, I was enjoying it, but I just felt it was padded out a bit too much. But overall, it was very enjoyable, and like I said, the kids were brilliant in it, and I loved the music. It was fucking cool music, and some of the scenes, the costumes, the whole set design, the locations. It was a really good film, but maybe it's slightly short. I don't know, but kudos to them to make it an hour and a half long film with mainly kids in So
on a low budget indie stuff. Yeah, absolutely, mate.
Incredible.
Absolutely, yeah. I found it so inspirational. I mean, as a dad who on previous summer holidays have had to keep his kids occupied, and I've said, or they've asked, can we make a film, mate? Trying to get them just to do one scene.
Oh God, yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you remember, I did some footage where my girls were doing the end of, I think it was The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and if you'll notice, I'm in it, my youngest is in it, but my eldest got fed up before we got around to shooting her stuff.
Yeah.
So I've just kept footage of. Shit, who was it? I think Eli Wallach or Clint Eastwood. Anyway, he's in there killing me and my now 10-year-old. So yeah, as you say, mate, hats off. But it's inspirational as well. It's it's very much like we're putting on a show because clearly it's low budget. Clearly they didn't have access to a lot of stuff. But I will say, mate, one thing is amazing from the BTS video and definitely worth checking out is they had access to a proper crane. And I can't remember in the movie where there is a crane shot, but at one point, yeah, you see these guys and they've got a crane and this car driving away. So
the world before drones, eh?
yeah,
I think a bloody crane in.
Definitely.
No, it's fantastic, and I mean,
I really dug it, mate. I really dug it. And I love the fact that the opening title card, the Hawk Jones has his own absolutely bitching logo. Did you catch that at the beginning? More films need that, like Condor Man, he had his own cool logo. Hawk Jones has his own cool logo. And yeah, you know what? I'm gonna get that made up as a t-shirt.
And this was Richard Lowry's first feature.
Yeah, as far as I can tell, yeah, very much.
Yeah. So
I don't think he did a huge amount of.
Fuck me, your first feature film is this. Fuck. The balls on that guy. You know what I mean? That's
Definitely.
I mean,
balls or ignorance. I do kind of.
I was going to say, maybe totally ignorant to the
fact.
He
had access to kids and then thought, well, there we go.
I love to see him. I would love to see him at the end of the first day. He's probably thinking, "What the fuck have I done?
I have made a terrible mistake.
This is the worst mistake ever."
But confession time, right? I'm not, nor have I ever actually been a fan of Bugsy Malone. So don't get me wrong, right? From a technical standpoint, Bugsy Malone is beautifully done, right? But for me, it's too cutesy. They've got the splat guns instead of real guns, and the period setting.
This is better than Bugsy Malone.
Yes, thank you.
I'll state that now. This is much better than Bugsy Malone.
Do you know why I dig it so much? Right?
Yeah.
It's because for the film. It's a modern day setting, and you can tell from the synopsis they could have made this film with adults, right, and not changed one bit of it.
Yeah, I was going to say.
For me, that's what makes this film interesting.
It's the script, isn't it?
It's
dialogue, the lines.
You've got kids running around with guns. Now, sure, when they do have the shootout, you see pow and bam coming out of the things. I love that. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely love that. But Bugsy Malone kind of makes it too cutesy, and the fact that the performances are really polished kind of just means well, what's the point? What is the point of doing a film like this unless you're gonna make it do your head in? The whole point is, hang on, I am buying into this cop drama, but with these kids, and it's kids, and I kept on kind of having to remind myself, because I watch a lot of low budget like action stuff, right? But this film completely caught me up, and I was completely like buying it. And yeah, I liked that bit where every 20 minutes or so, I had to remind myself, "Holy shit, this is kids."
But
These
you're
are
right though.
kids saying these lines and
Yeah.
killing each other on camera.
Yeah. No, the script could have been like a typical 80s action cop film,
Yeah,
easily.
exactly. And I disagree with you slightly, mate. I at no point did I find that the film like lags or had padding. Like for me, what I loved about it was these 80s genre stereotypes, right? So you had the hard-bitten detective with the police chief who was like chewing him out and going, "Damn it, Hawk Jones." I love that. And again, it was a kid with a bad fake mustache. Fantastic. Then partnered up with somebody who didn't want to partner, proper Lethal Weapon vibes, man, So we moved on to the buddy cop element, and then they're on a double date. And again, their kids on a double date. What the fuck?
But I felt like each kid had their moment. Like if you're like now in your 40s or whatever, watching that back, you're like, oh, there's my moment. Like even like the grandmother when the grocery store's been held up, she had the Uzi and then it's just like, that.
Or the kid with the amazingly 80s glasses. You know what? If I grew up to be that kid, I could die happy. The gang member with
the destroyer. Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. And then at the end, you've got the mafia crime boss and the big shootout at the end, which for me felt straight out of something like Beverly Hills Cop, with Axel Foley running around, or even it hit almost Commando levels, when he had the machine gun at the end and all of this. So yeah, I mean, consider me fully on board. This is one where I'd read an article on IMDb, and it was just like films which still haven't had a Blu-ray release. And I read this one, Hawk Jones, and I was just like, ooh, okay, interesting. And I was a bit reluctant because, like I said, I'm not a fan of Bugsy Malone. But this is Bugsy Malone done right, This is the thing where, why do a film with kids unless you're going to do it absolutely straight? Absolutely straight. Don't have like custard pie fights at the end playing up the fact they're kids. This ignores that they're kids, and so you have this weird Brechtian device where you're kind of like, okay, it's a complete stereotypical genre film, and ever so often I need to remind myself it's kids. That's brilliant. That is like, as you say, mate, what a genius idea for a first-time filmmaker to do. Genius or idiotic.
Fantastic. Again, I would love to have like kind of his thoughts nowadays looking back.
Yeah, definitely, man, definitely.
You know what I mean? But
but definitely worth checking out the behind the scenes footage.
Definitely.
I'll drop links down there to it, man. Well, worth catch up. Righty. So, Jim, which bad boy Blu-ray label do you think is best place to put out Hawk Jones?
Well, I found a couple. So both have a family section, and both have a lot of good 80s classics in there. So it's a difficult one, this one, because there's not many films like this, is there? But I've gone for Second Sight and Shell Factory as well. Yeah, some cool little films on there. So yeah,
definitely. I've got more Vinegar Syndrome. If you remember, they put out a film I think you recommended in the past called Shoot, which was very much like the Beastie Boys Sabotage video, but feature length. So it's very much, hey guys, we've got some toy guns and a car. So Vinegar Syndrome for me, I think it would be a great mix, and I'd love to see if they could put on the BTS footage on there and anything else, because I mean, if there's about an hour and a half worth of BTS footage, that suggests there might be other stuff they could also put out on there as well. So yeah, cool. So Jim, you've watched Hawk Jones. It's not past your bedtime yet. What film are you going to follow up Hawk Jones with?
Well, I mean, look, right. So go watch Bugsy Malone, and then you can see the difference between the two. and I think you probably agree that this is better. But never mind. Yeah, so go watch Bugsy Malone. I'll put like Little Rascals down if you like that kind of kids leading the film, and
I've always got time. Little Rascals is fucking
Little Rascals.
Yeah.
But if the kids are gone to bed and you fancy watching an adult cop film, then I've got Lethal Weapon down, so buddy cop, high action.
Yeah.
I've also put The Rookie down with Clint Eastwood as well. That's yeah.
Do you know what? I haven't seen that since my video shop days. I need to
it's good, mate. Charlie Sheen. And if you want a lighter kind of police film, then maybe Police Academy. Maybe you and the kids could watch that. So yeah, there's my recommendations.
Nice. Okay, I've got kind of two branches. So one, I've got like more 80s cop greatness. So Cobra with Sylvester Stallone. I think Hawk Jones and what's his name, Cabretti or whatever. They could team up for a long overdue sequel. So that would be a great one. Tango and Cash, another great buddy cop movie. I think
there's so many, isn't it, from the 80s? It was like buddy cop era.
Yeah, I mean, Lethal Weapon and Tango and Cash for me are great because it's kind of like chalk and cheese, different partners rubbing up against each other or whatever. So also One Good Cop with Michael Keaton. That's another great 80s cop movie worth checking out, mate, if you haven't seen that one. Or simply let's just go with Cop with James Woods, proper 80s just exploitation cop movie. Loved it. Or if you want to go with now, I can find many other kids playing adults films, but there are a couple of adults playing kids TV type things. So I think if you want to go for kind of like the opposite effect, there was Blue Remembered Hills, which was like a BBC TV play or whatever, but I think it's out on Blu Ray and DVD and everything. That's got like a bunch of 80s, oh no, I think it was 70s, but 70s, 80s TV actors, also Helen Mirren, and I forget the guy's name, the guy who played Boon. Do you remember Boon from TV? So
Boom,
it's basically those guys playing kids, and it all goes a bit Lord of the Flies.
Okay.
And well worth checking out, mate. Well worth checking out. Or if you want to go for a more comedic take on almost the same thing, Comic Relief did Five Go Mad in Dorset. So that's like Dawn French, Aid Edmondson, or whatever. And it's pretty much like Famous Five, but playing up the fact that five books are like racist.
I remember.
So that's well worth catching up. It's basically the comedy take on Blue Remembered Hills. So you could just absolutely twist your melon watching Hawk Jones and either in those as well. So so that's our recommendation. Guys, have you seen Hawk Jones? What film do you think would pair nicely with Hawk Jones? And also, guys, what films do you want us to check out and then champion for a beautiful boutique? I need to come up with a different sentence for this one. Beautiful boutique Blu-ray release. And Jim, what else can these people do?
Like us on Facebook, follow us on follow us on Facebook, like this video on YouTube, subscribe on YouTube. Any comments, suggestions, leave those down below. Thank you and goodbye.